So I will invite three speakers. The first speaker is coming all the way from Afghanistan. We have got Rohullah Sarwari. Rohullah, to give please come and make your presentation and share with us in terms of your life experiences from an Ubuntu perspective. Over to you.
So, hope you're all fine. They're all change makers, peace builders, wonderful guests and hosts. Greeting to you and welcome. You don't know how happy I am to be able to talk here using an international language, and if we went back to a year ago, my words were nonsense without meaning and non-understandable. Let me tell you something. A difficult part of being an Afghan is to speak in an international language, to learn this wonderful English language. I passed too many difficulties, and I would like to mention Andrea Martinez, my incredible Argentinian professor who never became tired and worked hard days and nights with me to help me to speak worldwide. I am Rohullah Sarwari from Afghanistan, a country known for everyone, and most of people are afraid when they hear about this wild land. Honestly, during these days, I am afraid too when I hear the name of my country, but I am here to tell you stories about this dangerous land and how difficult life can be when you are an Afghan citizen. Today, our program focuses on human rights issues and the heroes like you who sacrificed their lives and worked hard to build a peaceful environment for humanity. In my opinion, the world frequently is a dangerous and unbearable place for living. However, if we are able to coexist in such a horrible world with tragic events and horrible moments, is because of the selfless work of those who never give up and tried hard to build specifically an environment. One of these outstanding persons whose work is the best example of the worldwide hero, international human rights defender, Mr. Antonio Guterres, who always tried without ceasing for human rights around the world, especially in Afghanistan. Although Afghanistan is a dangerous place to live, but there are many peoples who are kind, honest, change maker, and peace builder, working to grant people have access to the basic human rights. Unfortunately, now, during the authority of new regime in my country, human social activists and change makers are at risk. Sadly, most of them are not able to breathe anymore, and we have lost them because they lose the right to be alive. For example, Khosha, he was a social activist. His job was to bring smile to the people. But when the new regime came to the power, they punished him with some bullets on his head without a clear reason, just because he was an ordinary person who tried to make people happy. Nowadays, being alone in Afghanistan is almost impossible, and it has many reasons. Afghan people experienced a horrible collapse, and now they are being witnesses of the effect of this falling in their daily lives. For example, it is winter in Afghanistan, and most of the population is not able to have a piece of bread, or does not have access, or does not have the possibility to heat their homes, to face the killing cold climate. For hunger people, human rights are meaningless. They see their rights in peace of bread and having enough food and a warm place to survive. After the regime took the government control in Afghanistan, everything changed. Economy cycle destroyed, so there are not so many jobs for anyone. That's why insecurity has awfully increased. As a result, people of my country face with unknown future, dangerous destination, with empty pockets, If we went back to some months ago, the situation was a little different. There was a light of hope coexisting with inequality and insecurity, but people had enough courage and they were trying to change their lives for better. For example, my colleagues and I, full of enthusiasm, woke up early in the morning and preparing ourselves to go to work. We were social workers, and our daily meeting was with the most vulnerable people who were tired of unfair system and world. But at the end of the day, we were able to give them this ray of hope and cover basic needs. Eventually, maybe I am one of the fortunate person among them who could come out of Afghanistan to study. However, my colleagues are at risk, and most of them have to leave hidden because now they are vulnerable and tired of life. They, with all their inner and inspirational soul, become part of those who think here is the end of the world. Just few of them are refugees, but ignore about their future. For instance, our team leader, Ms. Latifah Yaqubi, was a person who served a big part of her life fighting for women and human rights. She studied psychology and she had not any impossible word in her dictionary. But a few days ago, I called her. She was disappointed, tired, and hopeless in a refugee camp in Pakistan with unknown future. She was part of those who had accepted there are literally sometimes impossible in its meaning. Nargis, my uncle's daughter, who is 13 years old, was in 7th grade at school last year. Every day I saw her early in the morning. She woke up and was interested to go to school. But this year she can't go to school. Not only that, also the cycle of life has changed for her, and there is not any hope for her future to continue her studies. How painful was the moment when I heard that. I was not able to do anything for my uncle's daughter Nargis, but I immediately called my mother and asked her about my 16 years old sister. Is she going to school or no? My mother told me. The new regime closed the school's door for girls, but she is attending in some new hidden study program. Her school director made it. I found out that there are still hopes, and my sister's school director is a hero because with lots of limitation, he is trying hard to continue with study process. And it was the happiest moment when I heard she is able to study even hidden. After that, my mother added, we need to pay her fee and prepare basic needs for our winter. It sounds no important issue while someone has a job. But I am a student who needs to spend and study, and my family doesn't have anyone to support them. The hard part is that I came to India with a student visa and I don't have work permission. And there is not any place to hire me. Then I become obliged to borrow money from my Indian and international classmates and send them to Afghanistan. Of course, I felt happy that I could solve their problems, but loan is something that we have to pay it back. And during these days, paying back that money to my classmates became a difficult challenge in my daily life, and it almost interrupted my studies process. I am trying hard to do my best. I am sure I will succeed and I will change the situation too. But it is very important that my family has access to the basic needs in Afghanistan. At the end of the day, I am still hopeful. I see clearly the sign of hope shining brightly and making it possible to continue and move forward and talk with you. They're all change makers. You are the sign of hope and you are the bright future. I believe every Afghan people should have an opportunity in this world. They have to try and seek for better tomorrow. I am sure there will be many bright days and shining moments after this dark and horrible events. And everything will become fine after all this terrible moment. But they need help to reach the lights of hope. I am so happy for the for this beautiful moment. And thanks Ubuntu for creating this wonderful and inspirational moment for us. Thank you, Maria, for inviting me as a speaker. Thank you so much.